I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Fasten your seatbelts for one of the great divisional rivalries in the NFL. This is the first of two games between these teams this year, and you know it's going to be entertaining. It's the Texans going up against the Colts. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. We welcome you to the heart of the Hoosier State in the Circle City of Indianapolis, Indiana, at Lucas Oil Stadium. Tonight, we wrap up Week 11 with a good Monday nighter between the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest three-game win streak. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 8. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And leading the charge, we get a look at their 6-year quarterback. They'll come out in the pistol.
Let's go. 3-19.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. It'll go as a gain of 12. And that'll be good for a Houston first.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And the quarterback, he's got some big threats at wideout.
And they seem to get bigger all the time, don't they, Brandon? Every time I look out and watch a game, we're getting these bigger, more athletic, acrobatic receivers. We have some today.
So 2nd and 10 here. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
They run the counter now on first down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And this defense is on the field right now and just looking to keep the momentum, the mojo going from a week ago.
Partner, this defense is full of confidence. They feel great about themselves, and they don't think anyone can move the ball on them now.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's got time. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's 3rd. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Green 39.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Surveying the field. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. It'll go as a sack, a loss of 3, and in turn, it takes us to a 4th down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
The Texans send the punter out. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And led out by their veteran quarterback. He's been around a while. They don't celebrate birthdays for him. They just cut him up, see how many rings he's got around the middle. He has been in the league a long time.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. And a look at the offense that is hoping to put some points up in bunches here in this one. See if they stay on the ground for second down.
Let's go.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. They'll look to throw. He's got time in the pocket, and he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. Let's take it at around the 40. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up. But you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. Wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
They come out here in the eye.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
The line to gain is the 33 on third down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive.
Sometimes it absolutely...
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will score a pick six for the Texans TD. Yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
You're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski
different
was an
things
interception.
for different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a three-syllable word.
Yeah.
You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
Oski. And his kick is good. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 5, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And he'll give it here to his running back. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And the linebacking core could certainly be crucial today.
They do everything really, really well. Fly to the football, defend the pass, you name it, they do it, as well as set the defensive front.
So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. It's a 5-receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Well, there was no blitz. That was just a draw play that, to be frank, didn't fool anybody.
Did we hear the entire stadium screaming draw? Because it felt like everybody was all over that play, and the defense won that battle.
A nickel back added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. They're going to look to throw. And that's caught inside the 35. A really good pickup of 28 yards. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
And now a first down following that long gain. They come up in an offset eye. Looking to throw, and he will find his man on the end route, complete. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And the 11-year veteran bangs it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Finding time. Going to throw right side here. Complete. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. On play action, they'll throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And on third down, the Colts have added an extra defensive back.
Flooding the passing lanes.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Under pressure, they got him again. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to fourth down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about a 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe
that.
bashed it.
Super toe.
And they'll run it here. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. They're up against a 3rd and 2 to start things out. They'll look to throw here. And this is going to be caught. No, they say it's incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
And this will be taken at the 13. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And the Texans take possession. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set him up.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
They'll set up to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. They come out here in the eye. They'll give it to him right up the gut. Oh, what a move. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Here we go now.
And they'll go on the ground. Oh, look at the juke. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
They run the counter now on first down. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. Now, that result is no surprise. This team is bringing back memories of what? The 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. Those teams were so great against the run, they made you abandon any plans of doing that when you played against them.
He'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's got time. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did. All right, say it with me now. There's a lot of different words we come up with. Maybe we go back and forth after that play, getting his toes tapped down to make that catch. Crafty.
Yeah. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Brandon Bolden, his first touchdown on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, got to make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Going right side here, and that's complete. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw, surveying the field. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
Receivers love having the reputation of being go-to guys on 3rd down, and he was fighting like he really wanted to have that reputation, didn't he? I mean, he came very close to making that a first down.
Broke the 1 tackle, but couldn't spring himself free. Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet. They're going to go for it on 4th.
Here we go now.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And now out comes Houston. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. He's got time in the pocket. And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up second.
But Brandon, sometimes I think when we watch games, we're actually watching a living museum because we're seeing the evolution of positions almost with each passing game. How about defensive ends nowadays and the way that they can run almost all the way across the field?
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they're so strong, but they're so lean they can move so quick with those bodies.
It's almost unfair. You're supposed to be able to know where a defensive end is supposed to be on every play. These guys flash so quickly, you're not sure where they're going to end up.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he gets this one all the way up to the 40-yard line. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play. Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Six yards to go here on second down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. Looking to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer. When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Again, he'll drop to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll look to throw again. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Their big tight end. His first touchdown on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Point after try forthcoming. And it's 21-3. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now a play fake here on first down. Deep drop. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he eventually goes down, but not before reaching the 30-yard line. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And his kick is good. And that'll get the deficit down to 15. So they're still down, but they are able to salvage 3 here heading into the lockers.
This is what you work on from the beginning of training camp. Heading into the half, put some points on the board. No matter what the score says at that point, you've accomplished what you set out to do.
So we're at halftime here on a Monday night as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Colts trail at home at halftime. The Texans have come in and looked good as the road team. And will just keep trying to play hard and maintain the lead going forward. All right, let's do this. Here's the first half highlights. Texans with the ball midway through the second. The quick pass and completion is made, and he goes in for 6. The Texans go up by 11. 4th down, inches to go. Under pressure here, and the pass is picked off. Texans defense happy to get off the field. Now following the pick, the pass will be completed into coverage, and he'd cap off the 9-play drive with a TD. That takes the lead up to 18. So that'll do it for us at the EA Sports Studio. We're going back under the lights for the second half of this Monday night matchup.
This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And on the ground they go with a running back. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. Offense just a yard away from the line they need to gain. 3rd down. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete. Eight yards still remaining here on 3rd down.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. 2nd down following the run.
Here we go! 3-19!
They're going to look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, ball's out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
An extra defensive back in the game now here for 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
He'll look to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive. They come up at an offset eye, and they'll run it here. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field.
Now let's go.
And they'll go on the ground. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Well, as the play call comes in on 3rd down, you have to think about 4-down territory here. Down a few touchdowns, they need points, and they need big points.
Green 39. Green 39.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Their dangerous wide receiver, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Colts are able to draw a bit closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told, and it culminates in an Indianapolis touchdown. The Colts kicking team is out there now, and they will send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the 2nd half. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch, counter punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to get.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And the Colts getting ready to go. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard. If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
So they're operating in the red zone.
All right, here we go.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line.
And he takes it in for a Colts score. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Colts are a 2-point conversion away from tying this football game.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. And they'll get set here looking for the 2-point conversion. They'll try and throw for it. Goes right side. And he's got it. So they went ahead and went for 2 to tie the game, and it works out. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted to tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And a look here at the Colts defense. Coming off that fumble recovery last time, so maybe they come out here with bigger eyes, a little bit more excitement.
No doubt about it, and I would hate to be a guy in the NFL nowadays that has the football in his hands. Because in the old days, you just worried about getting tackled. Now, they're trying to strip the football, create the takeaways, and that's often more embarrassing than getting knocked to the ground.
Have they gotten much better since your playing days at stripping the football?
So far beyond what we used to talk about. Our thing was just securing tackles, and if turnovers were a result of the tackle, that was one thing. But now they want you to secure the tackle, the next guy in, he's working to stripping the ball out, creating takeaways, getting it away from the offense is crucial.
They'll give it to him right up the gut, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to have a third down.
The insistence of speed at every position is really seen at the defensive end spot. These guys in the old days were often outside linebackers. They just pushed them forward because they wanted to play fast and get to the quarterback or the running backs quicker than ever before.
And the offense in that middle ground here on third down, 5 yards to go.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
One of the selling points of the end route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end. Hey. Got three down. Set. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. He'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up third.
But that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on third and long. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Backing up. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. This will be fielded at the 17. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And these numbers showing up on the screen, that's why he's their star. They kept him down for a little bit, couldn't keep him down for a full 4 quarters.
But what they were hoping for was a half of a game. If they could have shut it down at the half, they had done their job. But as you mentioned, a full 4 quarters, and the best, they always feel like they're one run away from changing the momentum or breaking something big, and we're starting to see that here in the second half. Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball, but when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Now a play fake here on first down. Finding time. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a third down and 6 to go.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. He's got time. Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
One quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Looking to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. They'll give him a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. That's taken on the 25. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time with just punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it's time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
All right, here we go.
They're going to look to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he's brought down. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass, and completing it.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there. So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed. And that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
McKinnon here, it's complete. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
I'd love to sit down at some point in our offseason and talk to these defensive coordinators in the red zone. Tight end is obviously a big threat, yet these guys continue to make plays. Is there any other way to stop them?
Apparently not. In the red. Oh, no, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels. 3rd down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win, and the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And this one is right through. And they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front. But then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out, and you think, I don't know that field goals are going to be enough to get us home.
This one taken just inside the 10. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Wide open receiver complete. It's a gain of 24 that time. And it's good enough for a Houston first down.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
Back to throw again. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You'd be really
You don't deserve
upset,
anything
right?
for that.
But you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And his kick is right there. It's good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Texans defense, we watch them get set to go. And last time out, they gave up the chip shot field goal, but obviously could have been worse than that. I think they felt pretty good about only giving up 3.
No doubt about it. Anytime an offense gets into the red zone, the thinking naturally for the defense is, okay, 3 points. We're going to give up 3 here. But let's make it no more than that. They met their goal.
On the other side, though, the offense, they weren't very happy.
No, because there's an opportunity. Once you get to the red zone, you're not thinking about kicking a field goal. You're thinking about how do you get it into the end zone. And when you don't, you walk off the field feeling a little bit of failure on that drive.
Yeah, who will have the better feeling at the end of this drive? Now back to throw. And he had a quick little spin move, but the door shut fast as he's dropped. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
Well, there really wasn't much there, but a completion is a completion. A tough 3rd down awaits them.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz, and the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
The Colts send out their punter as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. That's pulled in at the 32. Now a hit and a loose football. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
I remember sitting in special teams meetings, and at some point during the meeting, the coach would always say, you better treat this one just like you're playing offense or defense. It's a big part of the game, and we just saw evidence of why right there with that fumble.
Yeah, fumble on the punt, and after it was turning up to be a pretty decent return.
Yeah, a really nice return. They were going to be set up okay, and the offense would feel good running onto the field. And now the defense has to try it out there and try and slow them down.
He'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down.
Let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that's caught. Did he stay in bounds, though? He did not. Ruled incomplete. A third down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know half of your body is trying to stay behind while the other half is reaching out, trying to catch the football. The top half worked. It was the bottom half that was in question.
And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Back to throw now on 1st down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 13 yards there on the pickup, and that'll be good for a Houston first.
I know they don't like to hear it when they get to a certain age, but then you have to start to use your skills, your wiles, right? Your mind to beat guys to the football. And getting your toes tapped in bounds definitely qualifies as that, doesn't it?
The veteran showing he still has the agility.
Still 1st down.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And they'll bring him down. And now here's a timeout called by the Colts on the defensive side of the ball. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Now a handoff as they run left side. And another timeout taken by the Colts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12. They'll give it to him right up the gut. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And the dreaded 3rd and long here for the offense. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And his kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you got a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it.
No. Jack, Patriot.
Back to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
They're still in search of the first down after that last completion.
Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room where they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave them a comfortable lead.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded at the 2. Oh, he shifts past him. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Well, in this one, partner, we had some action all the way down to the final whistle there with the late points and then the kickoff to end it.
Yeah, and the best part about it is just seeing how teams battled all the way to the end, you know. Didn't really matter. Scoreboard was pretty well set, but they still competed until the final whistle.
So for the Texans, it's an important win in terms of staying in the postseason race as they move to 6-4. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head down to San Diego for a matchup with the Chargers. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night, everybody.